Hey, how's it going everybody? It is Josh Thomas here from TheBitBlock. Welcome to my video review for Kirby Planet Robobot here on the Nintendo 3DS. So I've actually been playing this game for a while. I imported it from Japan, and I believe it came out in Japan like a couple months or so earlier than the rest of the world. This is again one of these casual reviews where I am not going off a script. I am just talking from my heart. That's the sound of my beating heart. Not really, I was just pounding on my chest. So yeah, well, let me know if you guys like these. I personally feel that a review should be something that isn't overanalyzed and you're not like writing a perfect script and re-recording it and stuff like that. I want to just talk casually about the game and my thoughts on it. So, let's get right down to it. So Kirby Planet Robobot is a fun game. It's got this really neat robotic theme to it. Kirby is whisked away to this magical, crazy place where everything is pretty much mechanical. The whole world, every little bit of architecture is some sort of pipe or machinery or something like that. It's robotic, as the name would suggest. And that's really cool. It also gives the series a chance to do something new once again. And because everything is robotic, Kirby also has the ability to hop into a giant robot suit and really wreak havoc on foes and the environment. I actually like to call them Kirby's robot pants because they kind of look like he's wearing big, giant mechanical pants. And I really want robot pants myself. I think it'd be pretty fantastic. Even some of the enemies are actually sort of mechanicalized as well to fit the whole theme. I don't even think that's a word, mechanicalized, but I used it anyways, so we're just gonna stick with it. So it's fun. There is a little bit of a problem I had with this game though. It really kind of, it falls victim of being scared of its own idea. You see, Kirby Planet Robobot is kind of a basic Kirby game half the time, and a really new, fresh, exciting robot game the other half of the time. You see, a level generally starts with you as Kirby. You're just, it's very similar to any other Kirby game you've seen in the past. And then eventually in the level, you will find the robot suit, you'll hop into it, and then you'll really start having fun. When I was playing this game, the whole time, I got to this point where I was just like, all right, yeah, where are my robot pants? I want to be in the robot pants. So it got to where the rest of the game, where I wasn't having fun crushing things in the big, powerful robot suit, was actually kind of boring, and I felt like I've been here and done this. There are some cute little moments. For example, before I forget, just in case I forget, I want to point out that this game actually uses the 3D effect on the Nintendo 3DS. Now, it's not totally mandatory, you can play it in 2D, but there are a lot of situations where the foreground and the background are used in very clever ways to take advantage of the 3D effect. And this is me applauding. I absolutely love that, and I hate when games don't keep that in mind. I think a developer should say, let's have some fun with 3D. We're making a 3DS game. So yeah, I like that. And like I already mentioned, I think the art style and the visuals look really good as well. I like seeing all these robotic planets and all these robotic worlds and levels. It's cool. But like I said, the big problem is they were like trying to make this a typical Kirby game, and then also something new. And I really wish that you were just always doing something robotic and Kirby maybe was always messing around with some sort of robot suit or something like that. It is really cool though how, a lot of us who have played Kirby games in the past, we know what happens when Kirby gets the fire power-up or the rock power-up or the mallet and all that type of stuff. But what's really neat in Kirby Planet Robobot is that when you're wearing the robot suit and you absorb the essence of one of your enemies, it's like a totally different attack. Like seeing what Robot Kirby does with the firepower is really exciting because, it's not the same as what he would do if you weren't wearing the suit. That's one of the things that I think really stands out about this game. The music is pretty typical. I think the music and sound effects, there's nothing that really jumped out at me. I don't think there's really any particular music track where I thought, oh, this is really good. But it's not bad. It's just kind of really what you would expect from a Kirby game on the Nintendo 3DS. A lot of this game actually does feel like Kirby Triple Deluxe, which is, it makes sense because this is clearly built on that same engine. And I really love that game, so it's not a bad thing, but I did definitely feel like this game should have probably ran with the whole robot thing a lot more. There are some extra modes in this game. and they're kind of really vapid, oddly enough. So there's this one mode called Kirby 3D Rumble, and it's like a 3D Kirby game, like little 3D Kirby challenge mode where you suck up enemies and then you spit them out and you try to chain react the chopped up, spit up enemy into other enemies. I guess Kirby doesn't really chew them. Kirby doesn't have teeth. That would be terrifying if Kirby had teeth. This is a fun little mode though, and I was really excited when I started playing it because aside from like maybe Kirby 64 a little bit, but not really, and Kirby Air Ride, we've never really seen Nintendo try a 3D Kirby game. So I was excited about this little extra mode. So what's the bad part about this? Well, it's really short. This mode is shockingly short, actually. There's not a lot of levels to play around with in this, and it feels really good. Like, I would have never thought having Kirby in a third dimension would work that well, but they managed it pretty well, and this feels fun, and I'm just really bummed that there's only a very few amount of levels. You're supposed to try and replay them again and again to get a higher score, but I don't know. I didn't really feel the desire to do that because it wasn't like it's really complex or anything. There's also another boss rush mode where you can take on a series of boss battles. You can do this with up to 4 people. I don't really know who's gonna get a collection of 4 people together playing this through download play, but if you can, I mean, I imagine it's cute and fun. I just played it by myself, and it was, you know, a typical boss battle rush mode that we've seen in past Kirby games and so many other games before it. I'm not really that excited about boss rush modes. And then once you beat the game, you can play it as, you can play through some of the levels as Meta Knight, which changes things up, but there's no, like, robot suit for Meta Knight. So it's almost like you're playing Kirby Planet Robobot with Meta Knight, but you're not even really getting the whole robotic element. It's this whole thing where you build up your sword and you can use the touchscreen to use different attacks, but it doesn't really work because this is supposed to be all about robotic stuff, and you're just kind of playing a basic Kirby game with Meta Knight. It's a fun game though. I don't want to sound like I'm bad-mouthing it too much, but I was definitely disappointed that it just kind of touches on the robot theme, and that's the most fun part. I mean, maybe that's a positive thing that I'm saying. Like, I like being Kirby in his robot suit so much that I was disappointed when I didn't get to do that. You know, it's sort of only about half of every level. But yeah. Those are my thoughts on Kirby Planet Robobot. It is available right now for the Nintendo 3DS, I think all across the world. I'm not totally sure if Europe has it yet. Probably should have checked that, but I'm sure you guys can do a quick Google search to find out yourself. Overall, I'm giving Kirby Planet Robobot a 7.5 out of 10. It's got a lot of fun things going for it. I like the robot mechanic, but ultimately I wanted a lot more, and half the game is just sort of a typical Kirby game, much like what we already saw with Kirby Triple Deluxe. And also, some of those extra modes were promising at first, but due to how small they are, I was a little disappointed. Alright guys, keep it locked right here to the BitBlock for more video reviews on Nintendo games, and of course, pretty much everything else in the world. Hey, thanks for watching this video from the BitBlock. If you want to stay up to date with some of the most original, crazy Nintendo coverage on the internet, be sure to click right here to subscribe.